My first guest serves Colorado's 3rd District in the United States Congress. And she's no career politician, just elected in 2020. She's a business owner, a mom, and she has become a household name as an America First conservative. She was with us just a few months back, but she's released a brand new book. And I'll tell you, the left doesn't like this book. You know what else? They don't like her too much either. We like her a lot. That's why we're having her back. Welcome back to our show, Congresswoman and author of this book, My American Life, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. Well, I'm excited to have you back. You've got a brand new book, My American Life.
Yes.
Tell me about your American life.
So, Governor, I have a lot of stories, and that's why I wrote a book. The fake news media loves to tell their own stories about me, and I thought I would reach out to the American people and tell them directly about my upbringing. And it's amazing because it's all of these stories combined that have led me to be a self-taught conservative. I was actually raised in a Democrat household, and it was my mom just believing the lies that were told to her, that these policies are how you take care of your children. This is how you get by in life. But it left us in a cycle of poverty, and it was almost impossible to break that cycle. And it was kind of rough. We left Florida with my grandparents. My mom was a single mom, and we moved to Colorado. And we thought that was going to be a fairy tale life, but there was actually a lot of abuse, a lot of drug and alcohol abuse, physical abuse. And as a young girl, seeing my mom go through that, seeing her try to cover that up, and then trying to put a smile on her face through it for me and for my little brothers. But it wasn't always beautiful. But America is the land of opportunity, and we all can climb out of that.
I love your story because it is not a story of, gee, I grew up in a wealthy household. I had 2 parents that, provided everything I wanted and needed. You went to work at McDonald's when you were 15. A lot of people may have not caught you live in Rifle, Colorado.
That's right, yes.
So one of the most prolific gun advocates, Second Amendment supporters in the country lives in Rifle.
That's right, yes.
I mean, you can't make that up.
You can't make this up, no.
But I've got to go into the fact that just recently, some really nasty stuff was thrown at you. I mean, it was vicious. Some of the most vicious stuff I've ever seen thrown at political figures. And believe me, I've seen a lot. I've been the target of a bunch of it.
Right.
This was some of the worst I've ever seen.
Yes.
And you were accused of really some despicable things.
Absolutely.
No consequence for the people who accuse you of this stuff.
Not yet. Not yet. No, it actually was absolutely gruesome. And of course, there's the politics of personal destruction, but outright lies and slander and attacking me for the things that I believe in the most and saying that I'm guilty of doing those things myself.
Yeah.
It really was gross. But that's why I'm extremely happy to have my book, My American Life, so people can look into my life and get a glimpse of how to become a self-taught conservative. This is the American dream is available for everyone. My husband and I, we have our 4 boys, and there have been so many stories that have taught me these conservative values. From delivering my 4 boys, one of them I delivered in a pickup truck. And
was that intentional, or was it like you're on your way?
No, that was on the way. But also, I mean, I saw some brokenness in our healthcare system. When the bill came due, I was charged full price for delivery. I said, well, wait a second.
I thought GM would have charged you, for delivering in one of their Chevrolet trucks or something. Right,
yes. Well, that might not have made it all the way to the hospital, so we were in a Ford. We got there.
Oh, a Ford, okay. I think Ford is going to provide you with a new truck now, thanks to that. That was great.
Yes, but all of this has just built up to these experiences. And really, I wish more members of Congress had the life experiences that I've had. I didn't graduate high school. I went to work to put food on the table for my family. And, through that, I went through the school of hard knocks. and opened up a restaurant in Rifle, Colorado, Shooter's Grill. It was an amazing place where all of the waitresses open carried firearms.
I bet they got good tips.
Yes.
How much you going to tip?
I think it's
a lot more than I was planning to, honey.
I think it's 300% for an armed waitress, 300%.
You've had a hot time in the city, the Washington, D.C. city.
Yes.
You've kind of had a little thing going with bumping heads with one of my least favorite people in all of government, Eric Swalwell from California. Maybe one of the, and I'm just going to be blunt, one of the sleaziest people that I've ever watched get elected to anything. Tell us about that little repartee.
Well, unfortunately, he only acts tough on Twitter. So I've actually tried to have conversations with Eric. Smells not so well, and it doesn't really work out. He beelines away from me, and so maybe I'm intimidating. Not sure, but he actually compared me to the horrible mass shooter in Highland Park, and he put a picture of me with a firearm and said, "Let's start drawing straight lines." And so, I responded. I said, "Yeah, let's start drawing straight lines." And I drew a straight line from Eric Swalwell to Fang Fang, the Chinese spy, to the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah. I mean, how he sits on the Intelligence Committee,
Right.
having had a romantic relationship with a Chinese spy. I mean, that stuff, it's like out of a film, and you say, well, that would never really happen.
Right.
But it did.
There are no consequences for the Democrats in Pelosi's house. In her party, she ignores everything that goes wrong and of course, heightens anything that they want to elevate. But surely, when we fire Nancy Pelosi, this next Congress, we will also be removing Eric Swalwell from the Intelligence Committee and stripping him of his security clearance.
You went to Washington not to be a part of Washington,
Right.
but to take the world that you talk about in your book, American Life, My American Life, to take that kind of hometown, small town worldview to D.C.
Absolutely.
You fought for that.
Yes.
My big concern, Republicans win this November, House and Senate. Let's assume that happens. Are there enough people up there that will fight like you will to actually turn that place around and not care that they're never going to be invited to sit down and have a cup of tea with Joe Scarborough on MSNBC?
Yes. So I am a member of the House Freedom Caucus, and I believe that there are enough of us there that can influence the direction of the Republican Party and make sure Republicans don't start acting like Democrats. First of all, that's the only way we lose the midterms, and certainly that's how we lose the trust of the American people who have elected us to actually go there and stand up for the principles of our party. I've been a Christian now for 10, 11 years, and it's amazing what God can call you to. And in my book, I actually talk about not feeling qualified to do what God has called me to do. I started ministering to women in the Garfield County Jail, right there in my hometown. And when I was first approached about this, I said, well, who am I to minister the word to someone else? And God began to show me how we have the same spirit that raised Christ from the dead, that lives on the inside of us, that same spirit of excellence. It's not a diminished spirit that he gives to his sons and daughters. And so for 7 years, I went in and ministered to these women, and I was able to personally introduce them to the God who turns their shame into glory.
Beautiful.
And when they came out, I was able to have these relationships, offer them jobs at my businesses, and that was far greater than any government program could have ever been. I was able to show them redemption and what having a real second chance means in America, and walking alongside the Holy Spirit each and every day with Jesus as my Lord there, keeping my principles straight and my morals on target is key in Washington, D.C., because there are a lot of people that want to take you down.
It's such an encouragement to hear you. It's always thrilling to have you here on the show.
Thank you.
Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, My American Life is the book. And I think as you've heard her tonight, you're going to want to read this book and find out what makes her tick. But the beautiful thing is that what makes her tick is her relationship to the Lord and her love of this great country.
Yes.
Check out the book. It's called My American Life. Head over to Huckabee.tv. You can find out not only about the book, but how to keep up with Lauren Boebert.